Floyd Mayweather is willing to fight any fighter from 154 on down. You bring him and I'll take him.
I've had several conversations with Floyd while calling his fights.
Floyd switches to a southpaw stance for the second time in the fight. Third time, he says. Thank you, Floyd. So, Roy, do you like the Steelers or the Patriots?
Well, the Patriots.
Eagles or Falcons, Floyd?
I like Michael Vick.
That's a mark of his extraordinary ring comfort.
Floyd has the rare opportunity to go down as one of the very greatest fighters in history. Willie Pep, Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran. He could be on those kind of lists.
Whether, he is, as he says, the greatest of all time, still remains to be determined. In many ways, Carlos Baldomir might be one of those links in proving or disproving it.
And if Baldomir wants to disprove it, he might not need to look any further than what some consider Mayweather's most punishing bout.
The only guy that's been able to come close to being semi-successful against Floyd was Jose Luis Castillo.
If you're looking for a blueprint on how to defeat Floyd Mayweather, there's only one fight to watch, and that is the first Jose Luis Castillo fight.
Castillo continues to turn this into a ballroom brawl.
Prior to his first fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr., people didn't think of Jose Luis Castillo as a star. They thought of him as just another stepping stone for Floyd because of Floyd's brilliance.
But Castillo was no stepping stone. For 12 rounds, he applied the kind of pressure Mayweather had never faced.
And new!
After a controversial unanimous decision, Mayweather captured the lightweight crown and successfully defended his title with a decisive victory in the rematch. Still, the lessons from the first bout remained.
It became abundantly clear that night that if Floyd Mayweather has a Waterloo, it's going to be against somebody who's naturally bigger and stronger, who focuses on body punching, and who can create at least the threat, the mentality that he can out-physical Floyd in the ring.
This fight is dangerous for Floyd because Carlos Baldomir is a big, strong, rugged guy with a hard head, and he hangs in there, and he can handle himself.
Carlos Baldomir is one of those great surprises we always have in boxing. Someone who is below the radar. For all we know, they're in the witness protection program and just surfaced.
Baldomir's unexpected emergence followed years of low-profile bouts fought solely to support his family. But by 2005, he had gone 7 years without a defeat and amassed a respectable record of 41 wins, 9 losses, and 6 draws.
He was slowly moving his way up the rankings. But at 35 years old, he doesn't have a lot of time, and he wanted to go right for the very best.
So he wins his fights, he goes several years without losing, and Zab Judah elects to fight him for the welterweight title in New York because he thinks, who the hell is Carlos Baldomir? I've got nothing to worry about here.
For the New York-based welterweight champ Zab Judah, the Baldomir bout was merely a tune-up for Judah's next opponent, Floyd Mayweather. Judah was unimpressed by his little-known Argentinian challenger, and he wasn't alone.
I saw him a year ago when I was in Los Angeles training with a couple of fighters of mine, and we noticed a guy over there quietly training by himself. Every day he was at the gym, and they told me he was going to be fighting Zab Judah. I said, yeah, okay, must have been a joke. I mean, there's nothing that impressive about him.
Most fighters try to get away from their families when they train for boxing. They go to Big Bear Lake, they go to Las Vegas to train. Baldomir brings his family to Los Angeles and into the training sessions with him.
Tenía mucha confianza porque sabía que Judah estaba cometiendo un error, que pensaba en Mayweather y no pensaba en mí.
I think the only person who thought that Baldomir could win the Judah fight was Baldomir. Remember, this is Zab Judah fighting in his backyard, and he's fighting Carlos who?
On January 7th of this year, with his wife and family watching back in Argentina, Baldomir stepped onto Judah's home turf in front of a packed house. At first, the local favorite didn't disappoint.
Judah's just out boxing it.
Yo, motherfucker slow as hell.
Despite Judah's impressive early performance, Baldomir refused to give in. As the fight wore on, it was the underdog on the attack.
Zab has this huge edge in speed, and the guy's beating him to the punch. Baldomir's beating one of the fastest hand guys in the business, and he's beating him to the punch.
I had asked him one time after the Zab Judah fight, did he ever hurt you? And he told me he hit me with a great shot that really hurt. He said, but all I had to do was think of my wife and my kids. He said, I fought right through it. I could see their faces, and literally the pain went away.
Baldomir on the assault. Zab is in trouble. He caught him. He caught Zab, and he's got Zab on his feet again. There's no tomorrow. He's going to let it go, let it fly.
After 12 grueling rounds, the welterweight championship of the world was in the hands of the ringside judges.
The winner and new champion, Carlos Baldomir.
How about that? What an upset.
It was a title fight in New York City at the Garden, and he came in and beat a good fighter to win the championship. That makes it a huge win, not just a big win.
It's almost like a Rocky story. You know, Rocky Balboa, the club fighter who couldn't punch his way out of some poor dive in Philadelphia, and all of a sudden he's beating Apollo Creed.
Baldomir was greeted in Argentina as a national hero. The former feather duster salesman was now the pride of his country. His first title defense came in Atlantic City versus yet another local favorite, the so-called blood and guts warrior, Arturo Gatti. Again, Baldomir was the underdog.
Gatti was the betting favorite in the fight. Now go back and look at the fight and tell me how Arturo Gatti could ever have been the betting favorite against this guy. It makes no sense in retrospect, but that's how disrespected Carlos still was at the moment of that fight.
Arturo Gatti cannot get out of the way of Carlos Baldomir's power shots.
I never expected to see Baldomir beat Gatti the way he beat him. But Baldomir, as we say, beat him down.
Another big shot, and this time Arturo Gatti is ruined.
Gatti's storied tenacity was no match for Baldomir's sheer strength. The fight was stopped in the 9th round.
This was too big a man for Arturo Gatti. Is this question too big a man, as he proved against both Gatti and Zab Judah for Floyd Mayweather?
It don't matter what it is. I always want to win. I pick winning over money. I could be playing against an NBA player in one-on-one basketball, and I'm still gonna think he can't beat me.
I'm a big fan, man. You know what I mean? Like, he the best in the business. He just didn't wake up and be that great. You know what I mean? He put the work in. You know, it's motivation. There's a lot of us guys that come up here and watch him.
Well, thank you, Sean.
And it's just a beautiful thing. It's poetry in motion.
He hates to lose in anything. I play a little golf myself, and Floyd has never picked up a golf club in his life. He thought that he could beat me playing putt-putt golf. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know, so he said, okay, well, I'm gonna put up $5,000, and if you beat me, then you get the $5 grand. If not, then you gotta get a tattoo. Needless to say, I lost the bet.
Mayweather, like Baldomir, also had a point to prove against Gatti in June of 2005. In his first pay-per-view appearance, Floyd staked his claim as boxing's pound-for-pound best.
It was the first night that Max Kellerman was working on our pay-per-view broadcast. And Max's opening line on HBO was,
I think this is probably the biggest big fight pay-per-view mismatch since Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Huge left hook.
Floyd made his coming out party on HBO the night he fought Arturo Gatti.
Right hand is solid. Combinations by Mayweather. Too much speed. Maybe too much power, too.
I don't know that he laid a glove on Floyd. Maybe he did. I blinked.
You're stopping it, Arturo.
Gatti did not have the overwhelming kind of size advantage needed to compensate for the, disparity in talent. Carlos Baldomir does.